Hello, fabulous Libra. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of April 2016, General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. A new moon happening in the early part of the month in your opposite sign speaks to changing partnerships, changing relationships, and perhaps meeting that person that can really help you take your life to a whole other, more prosperous, more fortunate place. Some of you are going to experience this in addition to business, money, and otherwise creative projects. In addition to experience it in that sense, you may also experience this in the context of love. I will focus on that in the love-focused horoscope. But for this video, I will say that this to me is a very strong symbol of aligning with someone, a new alignment, whether it is with someone that you already know or someone brand new entering the picture that ends up making a big difference in your life in many different areas of life. This speaks to reaching an agreement, signing a contract with someone that may, in the immediacy, there might be some mixed feelings, but in the bigger picture will pay off huge dividends just a little further down the road. So we have got this new moon happening, and this new moon is in some sense speaking to what was, okay, and helping us to resolve what was, be better for what was, and also giving us a glimpse into what could be a little further down the road. And this is because this new moon is speaking with Pluto and is happening with Uranus in the sky. This is highlighting a conversation that Uranus and Pluto were having 2012 to 2015. This conversation spoke to an inner tension that all of us in our own ways were feeling. For you, this had to do with feelings of security, feelings of stability, and where you are in the context of partnership, in the context of love. So there might have been some mixed feelings about aligning with others. There might have also been some very people who came in, powerful connections that formed, and you had to overcome some resistance. You learned a lot. Some of those connections might have lasted, might still be here. Others, perhaps not. But regardless, this is going to show you something about what you have learned from others and in terms of working with others. But also, this particular new moon is speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn. And this is part of a conversation that will perfect as we get to the very end of this year and into 2017. So it's giving us a little bit of a glimpse into the future of how people can actually benefit your life, how people can add a sense of stability, of security. It's important now to be open to the ideas, interacting with other people, particularly one-on-one. So meeting people, sitting down across the table, sitting down, having those conversations face-to-face, very important with this particular sky as part of understanding your way forward, as part of understanding who you are and having a deeper sense of self-acceptance and having a deeper sense of your own power that you innately have, rather than trying to be somebody else or think that you need to be anybody other than you. This is going to give you that chance to look within, to reflect a little bit, and to see how where you are right now is a place of power, that you've already demonstrated some very important things about yourself, and you can use that as a springboard towards creating greater and greater success, prosperity, and just sheer movement, feeling like your life is going forward. For others of you, this really will be that chance to meet someone brand new, sort of by surprise, that makes a big difference. This, for some of you, is an agreement, can very much be had, or at least what an agreement could be like and how you might feel about it. Because of this conversation that this particular new moon is having with Saturn, and because this conversation is going to perfect a little bit further down the road, it does suggest that you could have a very strong mind level connection. You could have a very strong agreement that happens now. It will benefit your life, but it might not be as immediate. As much as there's a jolt and some happiness in the immediacy, it may take a few more months, or if not a year, to fully realize the benefits of this partnership. And so it is about trusting that process. If you are going to sign anything, if you are going to reach an agreement that actually is on paper, do so in the first part of the month, because as we move further into the month, shortly after the new moon, Mercury will go into shadow. So you want to keep that in mind, that Mercury will go into shadow, and it is going to be at the very end of the month. And as we start May next month, that Mercury will actually be retrograde. So you want to understand that, work with this energy. If there's any agreements, contracts to be signed, strive to do that as close to this new moon, happening right around the 7th of the month, as possible, to make the best use of this energy. But really, even just a conversation could be key now to help you to understand how people actually want to be part of bringing new opportunities into your life that ultimately will benefit both of you, can be beneficial financially and otherwise to all people concerned. As we move towards the later part of the month, we are going to have a full moon, and this full moon is going to happen in a part of the sky for you that has to do with money. It has to do with income. Here's the thing with this particular full moon. This full moon is happening at the very beginning of its sign, and actually, essentially, doesn't have any major conversations for a little while. And when it does have a major conversation, it is one of harmony with Neptune. So there's a dreaminess to this. It's not necessarily a full moon that suggests tangible momentum, but rather it suggests a sense of hope, a sense of possibility, a sense of fruition and closures that feel right, that have a sense of wisdom and purpose to them, and a sense that you can find ways to live a more ideal financial future. So the financial element to this has to do with money that you earn, money that comes in terms of a paycheck. So it could be that there's one source of income that might be ending, but overall it looks like this is leading you, and you can see how this is going to lead you in a better, more positive direction. For others of you, it isn't so much that anything is ending. It's going to be more about you understanding what you really want to do, you having an appreciation of what you want to tap into to more fully realize what it is that you desire to do. So there's a sense of fruition with this, there's a sense of completion, and there's also a sense of emotions being very much on the surface, and you getting that insight into yourself as to what it is that you really want to do to create prosperity into your life, and how it is that you can adjust your own energy, how it is that you can believe that prosperity is possible for you to experience more of it. This may also be a time when there could be some changes in the workplace, and it could be that for you, there's a promise there of greater financial reward as a result. It is going to take a little bit of time for that to be clear. I have a feeling as I look at this that if a situation like that does come about, where you start seeing changes in the workplace, or the changes in the work that you're doing, or the clients you attract, it could be that there's an element there that, okay, this is great, things are moving in a positive direction, and yet the reward might not be instant. It could be that the title is higher, but the pay not so much. But still, there's a lot of hope for what could be. You know that you're on the pathway towards creating and experiencing greater prosperity for yourself. What I love about this month for you is the personal, the people, but also the practical, the financial. I also love that there's a sense now that great turnarounds are possible, turnarounds that can last. And also, faith is possible, even when all the details, all the realities aren't worked out just yet. There's a sense now that you're moving towards greater prosperity, of knowing it, of feeling it, and knowing that eventually life will catch up to what you feel and start reflecting it more and more.